I implore you, please, you have to get out. You're all going to die down here.
Welcome back to United Gamers Authority. I'm Shade Hunter, and today we're going to be looking at a build in 7 Days to Die. It is probably the most powerful build that I have ever seen. It's been valid for quite a few different alphas now, so we're going to just jump straight into it because I love this build. This build is absolutely amazing. Now, there are other builds that are fun. All the builds that I will be going over are absolutely a blast to play. But this one specifically does not need a horde base. You need a safe spot to get off the ground briefly, but the idea of this build is to run around on the ground or have a platform you have them all run up on. So, what is this build? As you can see with what's on my hands, it is a brawling build, but this is going to be a berserker build. I will get into the berserker side of it later, but there is a mid-game version, which I'm going to be showing you now, and then there's a late game version, which we will be going over later. So what is this build? First of all, these first aid kits, those are for the late game. I just got done recording the Horde for this build, and I went ahead and spawned in my first aid kits that I'll need for the late game video. But you are only going to need first aid bandages, probably about this many stacks of them. I actually ended up running out of first aid bandages when I could have really used them, but I managed with the items I had. I started out with 4 stacks of tea, 4 stacks of bacon, bacon and eggs, and then 1 stack of each one of these other items down here. We'll be going over all this later, but right now let's jump into the most important thing. For all the trolls out there, do not, by any circumstances, think I have forgotten you, because I know you're going to rear your little head in the comments section where you live. Yes, to do this build and all builds I build on here, you are going to need books. Find the books. Was that sufficiently loud enough for you? If you cannot hear or understand English, use subtitles. You will need the books. Specifically, the automatic weapon handbook. And there's a reason for that, and I'll go over in a minute. Plus the bar brawling. You are going to need all 7 of both of these for this to work. Mid-game, I would say mid-game is roughly level 50 at day 70. That is possible if you're doing a lot of quests for the traders. It is totally possible. You don't need the batter up and the shotgun messiah. I was doing some testing, and turns out that those are not needed for this build. I just can't delete them out of my inventory. But the most important out of everything is Urban Combat 6. Now, the reason I'm saying you need books is because finding books is a natural course of the game. You are going to find the books. If you want to do this build, you want to focus in on finding these books. Now, you can find them at traders and buy them, or you can just find them in the world. But these are the books you're going to need. Urban Combat, number 6, armor does not slow you down in combat. That is by far the most amazing perk or book or anything you can have in this game. Next, we're going to just work backwards. You are going to need 3 points in intellect for the first perk in physician, because that makes it to where splints and casts will cure your sprains instantly. The additional healing is great. The faster critical injuries is great, but it's not necessary. You'll see why in a minute. But that big one is curing the sprains instantly. You will get sprained. You'll see in the video here in a few minutes that I'm going to be turning you over to. I don't know why my computer just made that sound. You will see that I get sprained a couple of times. So working backwards, you are going to want to jump into agility for the first perk in parkour, because this helps with jumping, and you're going to be jumping around a lot with this build. As a little hint, the late game version actually has parkour maxed, and there's a reason for that. Working back, now we're at the big one. I cannot stress enough how this is going to work. Before we actually go over this, you see all these perks here. Before we go over this, we're going to jump into the actual gear. You are going to want full tier 5 or tier 6 iron. By level 50, day 70, that is possible. But you are going to want full iron armor and actually wear it with the banded armor plating mods, if you can find them. If not, you're just going to have to go with the one down, but you need the extra protection. Next, you have to use tough guy glasses. You have to use the cigar. It is very possible by level 50 to have these. Find them, use them, love them, never take them off. Over into the skills. Going along with the fortitude, you have the Brawler books. We're going to go over those real quick. Brawler books give you deal 10% more damage with fists. Sprinting power attacks can knock down your opponent. You'll see I do this numerous times, and it saves my butt in the Horde you're about to see. Gain 5% damage with each kill, up to 15%. You will see on the left-hand side a green boxer show up. That's part of that. It's insane. You will see how fast I can take these guys out with just my fists. Do extra damage to knock down stunned opponents. You will see quite a few times where I will knock down a particularly tanky enemy, and I will look down and start punching them because of this. Recover health in combat with every punch. You will see me use healing items here and there, but it is not to regain health. You never actually need to regain health in this. It's for the other abilities that the healing items give. Number 6, attack and move faster after getting hit. That kind of gets nuts because you'll actually watch me start attacking faster and faster and faster, even though I'm getting damaged. But I keep healing myself every time I do it. It's crazy. And the absolute most important thing about this entire list of books, drinking beer no longer blurs your vision. Now, I probably should have been drinking the beer more often, but I didn't. You can be chugging it like crazy, but it doesn't blur your vision, and you get amazing benefits. We'll go over those in just a minute. And then once you get all 7, you get something that is absolutely phenomenal. The 7th curse. What that does is you unleash your inner chi with this ancient martial arts technique. The 7th unarmed strike, landed in a short time, does 300% damage. You will see in the Horde that at some point, a white will run up to me, and I will have just been taking out guys, so that's still ticking. I will have that 7th attack ready, and I nail that white in the head, and his head explodes. It's amazing. This, combined with all the other things, it just, your damage is ridiculously powerful. So, we want to know what we're adding into all this. What's going to be going on top of this that's making it so crazy? Okay, let's get into that. Beer, first of all. Stamina regen, plus 40%. Absolutely crazy. You will not see me run out of stamina this entire Horde. Brawling damage, plus 300%. Stun resist, plus 100%. I do not get a single stun in this entire Horde. It's nuts. It says it only lasts 1 minute. We'll get to that. It doesn't. It lasts 3 minutes. Next, we have the vitamins. Yes, you have, when you hit zombies in the face with your fists, you negate them being able to disease you. But just not having to worry about hitting them in the face all the time because it's a smaller target, it helps. Plus, you never get fatigued. So you run around like crazy, and it lasts for a really long time. Then you have Skull Crushers, melee damage plus 50%, lasts 6 minutes. You'll see I have only used a couple of these. I ran around for a while forgetting that they ran out. Fort Bites, damage mitigation. This is going to reduce how much damage you take. This is huge. You need this. That's why I was chugging drinks left and right. Then you want the health bar. Gives you 10 bonus health, which is meh, whatever. The armor crit resist, that increases the chance, or sorry, that decreases the chance that they're going to actually be able to crit you. And then the crit healing, that's the critical damage things that happen. It increases that healing by 200%. That lasts 6 minutes. 5 food, big deal. Plus, then you also add in the steroids, which they're just about to run out. Carry capacity, who cares? Run speed. That one's huge right there. That is why we're using this. So you can run around and easily get a faster charge in doing your sprinting power attacks, and also so you can avoid them when you need to run around and heal or reload. The reason I say reload is because of the AK. Now we have those. We also want to look at the bandage. The first aid bandage, the biggest thing that I kept getting was abrasions. And it's annoying because once you get an abrasion, it increases the chance of you getting an abrasion or bleed. And you need to make sure that you hit this on the abrasions as quick as possible. The painkillers, I was using this for a little bit more damage mitigation, stun resist. And it also, for 3 minutes, keeps you from getting a concussion. So that helps. And then, of course, the splints for when I get a sprain, I just use a splint and it immediately goes away. I use the red tea because of the efficient digestion. That seems to help make the food last longer. And also, it has decent water and it's easy to make early on in the game. I use bacon and eggs because it's got decent food, decent health, and gives you a little bit of max stam bonus. Not that we need any more stamina. We regen it faster than we can use it. So back into these skills here. We're going to go ahead and go over Fortitude. This one's huge. Now that you've got your glasses, that's going to give you the 10 out of 10 on the Fortitude. You need 10 out of 10 because you're going to want 5 out of 5 Brawler, 3 out of 3 Lightning Hands, 5 out of 5 Pain Tolerance, 5 out of 5 Healing Factor, 5 out of 5 Iron Gut, and 3 out of 3 Cardio. Now, the big thing. The reason the beer lasts for 3 minutes. The beer says it only lasts for 1 minute, right? So when you consume it, with this build going on, you have Iron Gut, which gives you buffs from consumables last 50% longer, but also over here under bar brawling, you have the 7th one, which you no longer blurs your vision, but it also gives you your buzz last twice as long. So before anything else happens, it's at 2 minutes. And then it adds the other stuff onto it. So it's going to be a little over 3 minutes. And then, of course, you want the cardio maxed out for the stamina increase while sprinting. It really helps not having to worry about stamina while running around. Moving on, we are going to go into strength. You are definitely going to want the cigar because you're going to put 6 points into strength and get that 7th one so that you can get the heavy armor all the way to 4, and that's all you need. Because this is going to reduce your movement and stamina penalty by 25%, which is huge. It also improves the durability by 200%, so you don't have to repair it as often. It's a no-brainer. You are literally a walking tank. You really need these in here. And then, of course, I have nothing into perception. So this is the build. And that's it. That is level 50. You will easily be able to put all those in there. And now let's see this at work. I'm going to go ahead and turn you over to the Horde Knight and show you just how much of a blast this build can be. On a side note, the reason for the machine gun or the AK is it is considered a machine gun. It even tells you right here, machine gun parts. I mean, why not? If you're going to have points into Fortitude anyway, and no, trolls, You don't need points into machine gunner to have it viable, because you have 10 out of 10, effectively 10 out of 10 in fortitude, which is giving you ridiculous headshot damage and dismemberment chance. Plus, like I said before, you need all 7 of the automatic weapon handbooks, so you can have the does 10% more damage. Fully automatic modes does 1% more damage per hit. Automatic weapons have 20% less degradation. You can craft the drum magazine. I don't have a drum on this, but I like to show the bare minimum. You're going to want a magazine extender on it. Fully automatic fire is more accurate with each shot fired. And I do use the AK in the Horde. You'll see this. Fully automatic mode has an increased chance to ragdoll an enemy. You will see that happen a lot, actually. And then your hip fire accuracy is greatly increased. And then once you get all those, every kill that you get with that weapon boosts your run speed by 20% for 20 seconds. So you could use this to get away. If you need to get away and repair your knuckles or heal up or something, you switch to the AK, mow a bunch of them down, take off running, and hopefully you're not more than 20 seconds away from your little hidey hole tower that has more medication or whatever in it. So that should be enough to be able to get you away and heal. So massive ability. Now, if you can find even a level 1 M60, dude, take it. Those things are nuts, man. And as far as mods on this thing, on both of these, you want to try to find the rad mover. If not, find something else that is there with you or that you like. Magazine extender for the AK and the full auto mod, just in case it needs it for the books. I have not tested this theory if it works, but I figured it adds damage anyway. Mods for the knuckles, I have weighted head, structural brace, ergonomic, and rad remover. And if you don't know what those are, the weighted head adds a chance to stun and slow victims, which all of this is nuts anyway. It does stun them a lot, you'll see. Structural brace just increases the degradation time, how long it takes. Then you also have the ergonomic grip, which this decreases stamina usage. This is a big one. You really want that ergonomic grip, because with this stamina reduction and all the other stamina reduction, you can punch forever. It's nuts. And then, of course, the rad remover is to disable the regeneration ability of radiated zombies for 90 seconds. So now that I've gone over that, since I had forgotten it, let me go ahead and show you all of my gear. It is what you want. I would highly also recommend the customized fitting, because the customized fitting mods, it decreases movement and stamina penalties from armor. So yes, you are not slowed down because of that other book, but this reducing the stamina cost of moving around and running and stuff is absolutely nuts, dude. Absolutely. So right now, if I take that off, 6% mobility reduction on the helmet. But if I add it, that drops to 3. So with all this together, you're going to have an armor rating of 67.13, explosion resist of 59, which that doesn't even come into play. Armor crit resist of 29%, which, if you recall, there's this candy right here that adds 50% to that. So you definitely want to make sure you keep the health bar on you. And the mobility is at 92% in heavy armor. That's nuts. All right, for real this time. Moving on to the Horde. And there you have it. Horde 70 with effectively level 50 perks. Because again, I only put enough in to equal level 50. That's all you need. Don't forget, you're going to be required to use the tough guy glasses and the cigar in order for this to work properly, along with all of the brawling books, the automatic books, and the Urban Combat 6. You need all of those for this to function. So, yeah. I was going to do a late game version. I'm going to put that in a separate video because these take a while to make, and I do not want that much content in one video for this situation. Plus, it turns into a different build late game because, as you can see, I mean, Fortitude's already almost maxed out. Like, all the important stuff's already maxed out on this build. So, going into late game, there are some suggestions that I would do to make this build even better at night, running around, that I will be posting. So this will be the Berserker build that has kind of two parts. The first part is early to late game, or sorry, early to mid game, and then the next part is going to be the late game invincible Berserker. So thank you all for coming. I really do appreciate it. If you liked what you see, please hit the like button. If you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you on the flip side. Later.
I implore you, please, you have to get out. You're all going to die down here.